What's up, family? We have to talk about sacred service without sacrifice. I just went through a crazy experience, a healing experience within this Leo full moon. And boy, has it done a number on me in the most healing and transformational ways. So, a few days actually before the Leo full moon, Dream and I are out and about getting our computer fixed because we have work to do. We got the New Love Life event that is happening soon. I have the New Love Life readings that are happening now. And we had to fix the technology so that we can show up for the family the way that we're supposed to. So we're out at the computer store. My mom calls me. She says, Desiree, I need you to go check on your grandmother. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go check on grandmother. I'll be in and out. Shouldn't be a thing. Well, when I tell you it had become a whole transformational, deep healing and revealing process. And I totally attribute a lot of that energy to the fact that we just had this Leo full moon. Whenever we are in a full moon season or in a full moon time frame, 3 days before, 3 days after, we are in a space of revealing. We are in a space of um, uh, uh, receiving. We are in a space of being able to really see with great clarity the things that we need to embody, embrace, the things that we need to release, all of the things. And so through this process, I had to learn the lesson of sacred service without sacrifice. Mm, wow. See, many of us have just always been taught that in order for us to serve, it takes sacrifice. And to an extent, it does, right? But there is a way that we sacrifice to where it still nourishes our mind, our body, and our spirit, right? And if we don't pay attention to how we are showing up in service, we will start to get angry with the world, frustrated with the world. And this will become a blockage to love. This becomes a blockage to manifestation, right? Because there's a certain level of like resentment and frustration there because there's something lacking whenever we're giving and pouring into people, right? And it doesn't get reflected or we don't see the manifestations or whatever it is, right? Or we're not nourishing ourselves in our times of service. There comes a point where we look around at our lives and we're like, okay, I've done everything for everyone, but what have I done for myself? What can I say I've accomplished and I've pushed through and I've made happen? What has my service to myself has been like, right? So that energy creates resistance. That energy creates a blockage between the manifestations that you desire. It creates a blockage to love, right? Because many women are living from a place of frustration in those moments. And I experienced a little bit of this over the past 5 days. Um, uh, Actually, in my moments of service, I knew that I was doing what it was I was supposed to be doing, right? Um, I knew that the way that I was showing up was very healing and transformational to everybody involved. So Dream and I dropped off our computer. We actually had a little date day, 222 on the clock. Yes, yes, yes. We actually had a little date day while we were dropping off our computer to get it fixed, right? And so when we were on our way back, like I said, my mother called me and said she needed me to check on my grandmother. And when I did this, I said, Grandma, why don't you just come on to our house and we'll take care of you and watch you for a little while, make sure everything is all good. She ended up calling her doctor, and her doctor gave her this rundown where we ended up taking her to the emergency room. And I ended up being with her at the emergency room from about 3 p.m. to almost 12 o'clock in the morning. And this was my first real experience outside of my household of really having to be that matriarchal energy and show up, right? And advocate, right? And it was beautiful, right? And a part of the major lesson that I learned is that many times the sacrifice that is actually depleting us and not resulting in the desires that we want, and I know this happens for many women, is that we are not, or you have not, been able to do the things for yourself that you would do for others. What I recognized from observing my grandmother, that the level of sacrifice and care that she would put in for her children, specifically her children who've had more struggles in life, that didn't make the best decisions growing up, you know, how tough that can be as a mother to see your kids go through certain experiences and you want to solve it, you want to fix it, and you would sacrifice yourself for those kids. Even if at some point in time they prove that they don't uh, desire it, or they're not prepared, or they don't have the skills to even receive what it is you're trying to give, and those skills translate into something truly healing and transformational. So when we're driving to the ER, my grandmother, she keeps talking about her two children, her oldest child and her youngest child, right? She keeps talking about those two. And me and my grandmother, we are both women with 4 children. And so we really connect on the kids. But she kept talking about those 2 kids. And I'm like, Grandma, you are having your own experience right now where you need your own attention, your own focus, your own healing. Mind you, my grandma just turned 80. She just turned 80 on the 22nd, right? And she is an Aquarius, and my mother is a Leo. So I was having this really deep healing experience during this time that was showing me so much. It was showing me the things. Come on, camera. What's happening here? There she go. It was showing me the behaviors and the emotions and the things that really shaped me to be who I am as a woman, as a mom, as a teacher, as a coach, as a healer, as a partner. You know, it was just showing me all of these things. And my mother and my grandmother are opposites. Like I said, my grandmother is an Aquarius. My mother is a Leo. My mother is a Leo sun. My grandma is an Aquarius sun. They don't be seeing eye to eye. So it's just a very interesting thing to observe. And the biggest lesson that I've taken away is not sacrificing ourselves in service, even to the people that we love, even to the people that we honor and we appreciate so deeply. We have to learn how to sacredly hold space. So the first day we're in the ER with my grandma, I'm really kind of just peeping the scene and trying to understand what's happening. I'm reading my grandmother's energy spiritually, not doing a lot of talking, we're talking about little small things, right? When we're in the emergency room, though, I'm actually just observing her engagements, how she interacts with the doctors, the things that she says. And I'm noticing this codependency. I'm noticing this need for somebody, right? And I mean, she's 80 years old. She deserves, to have people care for her. But at the same time, when I think about how I want to move when I'm 80 and why I take care of myself the way that I take care of myself now, oh my God, I want to be driving. I want to be on cruises when I'm 80, right? I want to be on, in an RV or something with my kids and grandkids and great grandkids, traveling somewhere, you know. So I just noticed so many things about my grandmother that I was just like, she's focused so much energy on the people outside of her and also needing them to support her, to make things happen for her, et cetera, that she forgot her power. She forgot her own power and her own capacity. And I observed this and I had to snap my grandmother out of it multiple times. I had to wake her up. So one of the first lessons that we have to integrate when it comes down to this energy of sacrifice and like self-sacrifice in service to others is that we have to remember that other people are powerful. Human beings are powerful, whether it is your 2-year-old. My 2-year-old is strong, okay? Like, he really needs me to just like protect him and like cover him. But baby, he gonna feed himself. He gonna climb on things. He's going to do big, big things. Oh my God. my daughter, oh my God. She can speak for herself. She's vocal. She knows what she wants and she stands on it. My other daughter, oh my gosh, she's a fighter. She will whoop your ass if you mess with her. 100. My son, wise. My oldest son, wise. He just gets things. He just knows things. I'm bringing them up because they're young, right? Between 2 and 9. What a blessing. But they have so much inside of them already. They're so divine and sacred already. And I see it and I remind them of it, right? And at the same time, they challenge me in many different ways. But people are strong and capable. And so we're self-sacrificing for people who can. I don't know if y'all are feeling me. I mean, this energy is so deep. We don't have to self-sacrifice because other people have the capacity to show up for themselves. Our job is to remind them, to reflect it. Look, this is my mama calling right now. I can't answer right now. I can't answer right now. I'm not even going to sacrifice myself for it. And she calling 2 times. I'm going to have to text her. I'm going to say, gotta call you back. On a call. These are no coincidences that these things happen while I'm having conversations like this. It's no coincidence. My mother, my grandmother, my brothers, they are all a reflection. Everybody in your family, everybody in your life is showing you something that will deepen you on a spiritual level. Your relationships are so essential. This is why Dream and I and Brother Yosef, we are literally doing the New Love Life event. I'm about to drop the link in the comments for y'all, right? Because you got to be there. Like, we are about to have a good time. We just understand the importance of family. You know, something that I've noticed that I also want to talk about, I don't even know if I'm going to talk about it today, is that many people are running away from love. Many people are running away from love and connection and commitment, right? Many people are literally hiding. Let me say this for the New Love Life event. Babe, if you could actually drop the link, that would be good. Is that we have, I'm looking for the ladies. Where are the ladies, right? Where are the ladies? Where y'all at? Like when I look at our tickets, I'm seeing mostly men. I'm like, are the ladies scared? Are the ladies, and I know, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because a lot of the ladies may be in their mind, be like, you know what? I ain't even interested in dating. I am focusing on myself. Girl, I am just focusing on myself. I am decentering men. Men are decentered. Relationships are decentered from my life. I want you to ask yourself, are you really decentering? Are you really stepping away from love? Are you really running away? Are you really scared? Right? I want you to ask yourself, are you avoiding something? What are you avoiding? When we are really in our work, we become so focused on who we are and what we got going on. A relationship ain't stopping that manifestation and that transformation from happening. A job ain't stopping that from happening. None of that. So a lot of times, what I'm saying is, a lot of times women and men, but I'm talking to the ladies, are avoiding love and relationships not because they don't want it, right? But because they're afraid of the work that comes with it. You're trying to stop a process that's going to happen no matter what, whether the love is real or fake. Relationships, even the best ones, test the people that are in them. So this mindset of I'm not ready to love, or I still got more work to do, or all of that, baby, you're always going to have more work to do. That's never going to stop happening. Now, there is a level of self-awareness that we need to have before entering any relationships. This is platonic relationships as well as romantic. Even when you connecting with some homegirls and you're analyzing these different women that you are considering connecting with, best believe I'm in my self-awareness bag. I'm like, okay, I know I can be like this, or I know I can be like that. I know I can kind of, you know what I mean? So this is just a part of the work. There's never not going to be a time where we're not evolving and changing and growing through our relationships. So we want to learn to embrace that and not avoid that. So at the New Love Life event, we're really creating a space for networking and connecting. If romance blossoms, great. If a great platonic relationship blossoms, great. If a business relationship blossoms, great. But I'm telling you, you have to put yourself out there, right? And so, ladies, I want to see y'all in the building. So, number one, in order to stop self-sacrificing while in sacred service, because showing up for my grandmother was so healing for me. It was healing for them. It was healing for my mother. It was healing for everybody. I'm going to tell y'all some different ways that it was. Number one, I had to acknowledge the divinity inside of her. I had to remind her that God exists inside of you and you have a right to choose. So what you going to do? What you going to do? So many times I had to remind my grandma. I'm like, It is so mind-blowing. It's so mind-blowing to me to observe this. Here's a great example. Here was one of the greatest examples that happened over this weekend. It's Saturday. I go to the emergency room. My aunt is there. My uncle is there. My grandmother is there, right? These are my elders. My mother's twin brother and my mother's little sister. And guess who's showing up? Me, D. Ray, my mother's child. My mother's child, right? So I come into space, but I'm a little bit more evolved, right? So I come into space and I bring with me food, right? I bought them some homemade sandwiches, homemade tuna sandwiches with some chips, something that I know they could eat. It ain't gonna spoil, taste delicious, made with love. Brought them some waters. I brought them something. I brought them what I had at the house, right? Brought it to them. And what I really brought into this space was really just my calm and my presence. And so I'm in there and they're talking and they're talking and they're talking. They talked about my grandmother's blood pressure. It was up in the 200s. While we're having this conversation, my aunt is just affirming with all of this conviction. Oh, I know I got high blood pressure. Oh, I know I got high blood pressure. I just know. I just know. And before I say anything, I'm just analyzing the psyche. Before I even give feedback, I'm trying to really deeply understand where she's coming from. If she, like, why is she speaking this over herself? So I'm just listening. I'm observing. We end up taking our blood pressures. My aunt took her blood pressure high as hell. She really belonged in the hospital too, right? Her numbers was the same as my grandma. Dangerous. But she like, oh, I'm going to just go outside and I'm going to smoke and that's going to calm me down, right? Not knowing, girl, you just hyped yourself up by saying everything that you said. That's how I know that God is real. That's how I know that divinity is real and that life and death lies in the power of our own tongue. When we were taught that in church, that was real and it was valid. But here's what we don't understand about God. God says, whatever it is that you desire, so shall it be. So while she's affirming high blood, all I know is high. I'm like, okay, you just going to prove us right. I wish you would have chose to prove us wrong. I get on there. I'm like, I know. I'm not even thinking about it. This is not even something that I think about, right? Because I just know. My uncle do his, and my uncle, my mother's twin brother, he says, I don't take my blood pressure medicine that they prescribed me. I exercise. I change my eating habits. And now my blood pressure stays well. My uncle lost a lot of weight. He's not carrying any inflammation in his body. He looks good. He's taking care of himself. Another example of God in the flesh. So I had to tell my grandma, I said, Grandma, why are you sitting here trying to fall asleep? And I said this in front of my aunt too. I want you to affirm to yourself, I am calm. I am safe. I am loved. I am calm. I am safe. I am loved. Fall asleep to that, Grandma. I am calm. I am safe. I am loved. Now, who knows if she actually did? I doubt that she did. If I'm really being honest, I don't think she did. Why? Because she was still in the environment of my aunt, and my aunt was spewing this rhetoric that she needed some medicine. I literally told my aunt before I walked out the door, don't say that she needs no more medicine. She's fine. She is the medicine. She needs to talk to herself. Don't say that no more. I had to tell my grown ass aunt that. I had to remind them that God dwells inside of them. So if you want to stop self-sacrificing when you are in sacred service, recognize that God dwells inside of them and remind them of it. The second thing that I had to learn was the law of giving and receiving. Real sacred service is reciprocal. It's reciprocal. And so and that reciprocation can come in many forms. So you have to have a certain level of depth, a certain level of presence to know how something is actually serving you. So in this whole situation, let me tell y'all, like when everything was said and done, it has taken me days to recover from this experience with my grandmother and my mother. and my aunt and my cousin, with just the feminine side of my family. It has actually taken me days to actually recover. I'm finally gathering all of myself, pulling all of myself back together, and just understanding what Spirit was teaching me in this process. Right. And that's how I'm able to come and talk to you about it, because Spirit has given me the revelation and the understanding and the lesson. So I'm grateful. Right. But sacred service is truly reciprocal. Right. Whether that is in your partnership, with your children, with your family, with your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your job. There's something that's supposed to be reciprocated. And if you can't find something reciprocal from that relationship or from that service, then it's probably not sacred service. It's probably just vampiric energy. And so really leaning into that law of giving and receiving truly supports no longer sacrificing, right? Because we understand that when we sacrifice ourselves out of service to others, we get in this spirit of resentment, frustration, and this energy can block us from receiving all of the gifts that life has to give to us. Right? And I think that's one of the beautiful lessons that Jesus Christ teaches in that story, right? And that understanding. Because the whole story in Christianity is that of sacrifice, right? God sacrificing his only begotten son. That is so interesting, right? But what I'm really speaking to is the life of experience, right? Of and sacrificing Jesus, sacrificing his flesh, right? We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. That's just what it is. Right? There are things that we have to give up in order to show up in as our greatest selves, right? But those things that we release from our being are things that had to be released in order for us to show up the way that we're meant to. Right? So we need to think about sacrifice from a place of sacredness, like how you sacrifice your time by waking up early so that you can get that meditation in. That's what you do. That's the type of sacrifice we're talking about. But for me, after working with my grandmother and having to observe all of this energy from my family, I even babysat my niece and my nephew this weekend for hours. And I'm washing dishes and I'm cooking and I'm like, oh my God, I am in a state of service right now to everybody. Shout out to Dream Wise, because he holds sacred space, right? He holds sacred space, and I got to take care of my boo, because he literally, he was like, babe, go ahead and take care of your grandmother. So I had to leave him with the niece and nephew for hours. So he was tag teaming daddy duty with 6 kids by himself. and they are excitable kids, And one of the conversations that Dream and I had in that moment was one of expanding our capacity to hold space. So I'm not saying don't hold space, because this experience with my grandmother, where I sacrificed a lot, I sacrificed work, right? Coaching volleyball. I didn't make it to multiple classes. Time with my family, my self-care time, right? My mental, my emotional, my sleep has been sacrificed, because I hadn't been able to really make peace with all the energies that was happening. So all of this really teaches me something. And because of the work that I do, this is reciprocation for me. This is the ultimate gift, right? And so we got to understand that giving and receiving. The last thing that I want to leave y'all with when it comes down to not sacrificing ourselves when we are in sacred service so that we can stay open and receptive to all the good that is available to us is we just got to lean into the law of growth and expansion. And just knowing that as long as we keep showing up and we keep making the best decisions that we could make, every experience we have, whether we like it or not, is an opportunity for our growth. And so automatically, even those moments where you may have sacrificed, even those moments where you may have gave a little bit too much, you still gained something. You still gain something that carries you. And that's one of the biggest things that I want women and men to know, and my sacred sisters to know, right? We are always in a steady state of growth and expansion. And sometimes our growth feels amazing. Sometimes our growth feels like pleasure, excitement, joy, and it's fun. But sometimes it can feel depleting. Sometimes it can feel like a little bit of anxiety. Sometimes that nervous system. Those are moments that are teaching you, okay, we are in a space of expansion. We can rise to the occasion and show up. We can do our best, right? And understand that showing up looks different. That's what I'm saying. So it's just about really staying steadfast in our faith and staying the course and not letting these experiences distract us from who and what we're actually becoming. Too often we're holding on to the shortcoming or to the sacrifice or to the, I gave him all the things. I be seeing all of the stuff. Sis, let it go. And understand that everything was an opportunity to grow. Understand that as you show up for others, there needs to be a sacred giving and receiving. And understand that everybody has this divinity inside of them. Now, how they use it, that's different, right? And if a person is not using that divine God energy that dwells inside of them for the better, it is our responsibility to just reflect. And if they are not able to receive that, then that's how you know, okay, this is no longer a connection or a relationship or something that I need to continue to pour my energy into. And so like that Saturday night when I told my grandma, when I went back to the hospital, I told my grandma, I'm bringing you some good food. You're going to eat it. It's a vegetarian meal from a great restaurant, Dream and I always eat at, and you're going to have some. Okay. Me and my grandma watched Miss Blue together. If you go back and watch that probably not the most recent because Miss Blue be dropping, right? She be dropping her content. But if you go back and you watch that one that she did, the Leo full moon, she did it on Saturday night. Literally, I was in those comments. I had the video turned up. Miss Blue immediately came on and started talking about the heart and how she had made a prediction that people were going to be doing a lot of work when it comes to their heart, when it comes to their blood pressure, when it comes to their blood, when it comes to the family. That's what she was saying, right? I was like, well, I know you on point because I'm sitting here with blood with my grandma trying to manage and figure out what's going on while this blood is pumping so much, right? And so I had Miss Blue turned all the way up. I'm letting her listen. And I told her right there, I told her when I walked in there, I said, you're going home in the morning. Period. I did not come to play with you, spiritually speaking. Of course, I was respectful to my grandma, but I didn't come to play with her. I didn't come to play with that energy of forgetting her power. It's over. All right. So those are just the 3 ways that I've learned over this last few days, this Leo full moon, about how to not sacrifice ourselves as we are showing up in sacred service. Man, I just know that these words will really touch you and really change something and shift something inside of you if you will allow it. Okay. Let me also say this. I have the New Love Life readings happening right now. Listen, if you are already going to the New Love Life event, and you want to get a reading, let me know. Let me know. Shoot me an email, and I'm going to give you a discount code. Okay. Why am I doing that? Because I want you to already be prepared to enter that new love life event from a space of preparedness, right? From knowing, okay, having that self awareness of who you are and what you got going on, having that awareness of how you need to be communicating or what your spirit wants you to be picking up on whenever we're in the space, right? It's just all about being prepared to truly let love in. And so if you already know you're going to the event, I want you to go ahead and get that reading. I'm so excited for what's to come. I'm going to go find the link right now so I can drop that for y'all. Definitely grab that. Even if you're not coming to the event, you can get the new love life readings. These readings are all about figuring out what it is you need to actually feel safe in love. It's what is your sacred communication? Like, how do you know when you are actually receiving that love that is meant for you? What are you looking for in chemistry and compatibility? How do you balance those things out? What are the things that you need to be saying in love or saying in your relationships that you're probably not saying or that you may be afraid to say? These are all the things that we're going to be going over in that reading. I'm going to drop the link. You can check it out. You can check it out. And yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all at both. Get your reading, and then I'll be seeing y'all in Houston on February 14th. At the Shrine of the Black Madonna. We got, man, I'm so excited about what we're doing. We got some special guests coming through. We got desserts lined up. We got games and activities lined up, and we're ready for y'all. Okay? Peace and love, family. I will catch y'all on the next one.